Hey guys, Anime Corey 5 here. Just a little quick thing I wanted to share before I start talking about today's gaming slash anime topic. Is I am gonna finally go back and start getting into more habit of uploading content more. So I do apologize if there is a big lack of videos that have been going up. I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff, and now that I've kind of gotten in a position where I'm now like going to work like more like during mid morning and then getting off like earlier. I can start uploading more content, as well as probably during my days, like once my school thing is over, without too much trouble, since that's what's been going on. And other than that, I mean, I have been enjoying a little bit of, well, I haven't been gaming as much because I've been a little bit into watching Supernatural, which I finally ended my time with because it was absolutely ridiculous. Now, but yeah, be sure you guys do actually click the subscribe button and bell icon with all notifications enabled, so that way you can stay updated with all my content. Because I'm gonna start posting more videos out on a much more frequently basis. So whether that be daily or bi-daily or on a weekly basis. However, definitely be sure you guys do actually hit the bell with the all notifications enabled, so that way you can stay updated with everything that you will receive. So that way you don't miss a thing. All right. So today's topic is talking about the whole thing with PlayStation and comparing that with the Steam Deck. I know, I'm comparing a handheld device to either the PlayStation 5 or the PSP or whatever, okay? So, here's the thing. There was an article, a video I watched talking about the whole thing with, like, the Steam Deck and the whole thing with PlayStation Japan and how right now, currently, PlayStation Japan isn't doing really good. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And like with many things, if you guys haven't been, well, I know a lot of you guys are probably, PS5 fanatics. So I'm sorry if I'm going to be dunking a lot of shade at you, even though I don't mean to, because I'm not trying to harm any of my fans who are either PlayStation or Xbox or PC, okay? So, I'm just putting everything on a neutral ground here, okay? So for those out there who've never actually seen a Steam Deck, I'll just show you a picture of what it is real quickly, but for those that already have one, it's a really, really awesome type of well-built PC device that Steam/Valve created, and it's doing pretty well on it, honestly. Even though it's not out on market, but you can still, you can definitely buy one if you can definitely pre-order and get one if you so desire. And I know the whole thing with PlayStation and PlayStation Japan, or just anything really PlayStation in general, PlayStation hasn't really been doing very well. I mean, because PlayStation pretty much like moved most of their stuff over to PlayStation US, and that's kind of like what they pretty much did. And they moved it all the way over to California, which is where I'm located at. And yeah, it's apparently it's been terrible. I mean, ever since Sean Lane left and Jim Ryan took over, things haven't been really good. I mean, you still can't really get a PS5 anywhere. I mean, with the whole chip shortages and everything, which, I mean, it's getting back to normal. I mean, everything's coming back to normal. I mean, even though, people still will probably refuse to take out their face masks because they're so used to it after the whole pandemic hit, after, between 2019 and 2021, so there's that. But I honestly think that just as a quick side note, in my personal opinion, no matter what anybody says to you, oh, you need to be wearing face masks because it'll protect you from all sorts of viruses and such. Don't listen to them, okay? Don't, okay? Because those people are morons, okay? They don't realize that they have an immune system, and your immune system needs germs to practice on. Because once your immune system has some practice, it will prevent you from getting the super virus. Okay, seriously, you need more information? Just go watch a stand up skit from George Carlin back in the early 2000s. Okay, there's plenty of videos of it that you can find, and all you gotta do is just type up George Carlin /germs, and then just click enter in the YouTube search bar, and then you can watch it yourself. Okay. Anyways, getting back to the main topic at hand. Okay, so pretty much PlayStation is not really doing very well. Okay, and right now, currently in Japan, there's more Xbox Series S and X being sold more in Japan because people, pretty much Japanese gamers feel like they've been left in the dust thanks to PlayStation. And with the way how things are, they're now going the route of probably getting a Steam Deck because, hey, at least, Valve is open to anybody who wants to play, AAA games. And there's a lot of Japanese games you can also play on the Steam Deck. And plus, not to mention, it can also handle Game Pass, so there's that too. Because, you need to think about it. The Steam Deck is basically a portable PC. It's a bring-to-go on a PC. And it's a lot smaller compared to a laptop. When you think about it, a laptop you have to carry with you like you're carrying like a gigantic rectangular piece of a computer. And all it is just a monitor and a little tiny and a keyboard attached to it together. That's pretty much all it is. However, like with most travel things, you can't really make gigantic alterations. Unlike with a normal traditional desktop PC. If you have a build your own, a well built desktop PC, you can. But in this case, for a Steam Deck or a laptop, you can't. But still, for what it's worth, the Steam Deck is still worth buying, honestly. Even though some people will say, no, I want to get myself a Nintendo Switch because, I love playing Nintendo games. Hey, if you prefer playing Nintendo games on Nintendo Switch, I'm not going to stop you, okay? I'm not going to stop you, okay? It's your choice, your money, and your lifestyle, okay? You can do what you will, alright? And honestly, if you think about it, PlayStation, has this question ever come up? Has PlayStation ever made, the next PlayStation device? The next PlayStation Portable device? There was the PS Vita, and apparently it was a cool, awesome thing for its time, but the only problem was that, the memory cards were super overpriced, obviously, and everything else, but other than that, the PlayStation Vita was a really cool, awesome, little nifty device. And now, there's now a new competition between, Switch, the Steam Deck, and even, some really, other, third parties that no one's really heard of are actually making their versions of the Steam Deck and the Switch. So, there you go. It's out there. There's, competition is good. And currently right now, we need a lot of competition. Because everything the way how things are, it's not going very well. I could definitely see PlayStation just being a developer at this point. I mean, just like the way how it was with Sega. I mean, before Sega became what it was, what it is now, it used to be that, Sega used to be, they used to make hardware. They were a hardware developer, and they made like all sorts of Sega platforms, like the Sega Saturn, the Sega Game Gear, the Sega Dreamcast. There was a whole bunch of really cool, awesome stuff, and and the Sega Dreamcast was probably one of a kind revolutionary systems for its time, because it really kind of introduced this whole idea with 3D graphics. You can look at Sonic Adventures or Sonic Director's Cut as a good example, because when you look at it, that was probably one of the most cool, lucrative, revolutionary thing to ever create, because back then all you had was between 8-bit to 64-bit. You didn't have like anything with what Sonic Adventures actually had. So in theory, I would say the Dreamcast was actually the first actual console to introduce 3D environment world, everything being in 3D, in a 3D type of realm type of space. But I know others would make the argument saying no, it was the PlayStation 2. But you know what, you're welcome to make your own opinions, okay, based upon the consoles you grew up with. But honestly, I would have to say the Dreamcast was really what kind of set the whole thing with how games are made today, okay? And then shortly afterwards, once Sega as a hardware developer went out of business, but still Sega remains a developer, Xbox and PlayStation pretty much changed the game. Now it's now if you look at at today's current modern games, it's now what is now, because there's a lot of games run with Unreal Engine, thanks to Epic Game Store, so you can thank them for doing that. All right, but yeah, in this day and age, honestly, just going the route of just having a Steam Deck is a good device. And even if you're not really into either buying a pre-built PC, or not even interested in building your own PC, just having a Steam Deck is really cool, and it gives you a lot of cool, interesting features. Now, not every single game runs really well on the Steam Deck, considering that it's still new, but I'm sure over time there's going to be a lot more games that are going to finally run perfectly on the Steam Deck. There are still some, Tales of Berseria being one of them. It runs pretty well on the Steam Deck, but I don't know, recently, bringing it with me to work and then having to play it, something just feels off, as if there's a lot of latency and lag in terms of movement, even at 60 frames per second. There's a lot of little bit of lag and latency, and I'm not even sure what that's about, but whatever. I'm not the developer, and I'm not a engineer by any means of that standard, but yeah. Other than that, honestly, just go get yourself, start thinking about getting yourself a Steam Deck, folks, because that's probably what's going to happen. And, I'm not interested in the PS5. Honestly, I don't have an interest in getting one, because getting a PS5 is hard to find, and you have to be very lucky in order to get one. So, yeah. But for those out there who already have a PlayStation 5 and are enjoying it, hey, hats off to you. Enjoy it, okay? I'm not gonna pass judgment, okay? Maybe the old me from back in 2017 or 20 2018 to 2021 would probably still ridicule you guys, but honestly, the current me right now is not going to ever do that because that's just throwing shade at my subscribers, and I do not dare to do that ever again. So, yeah, so the current version is what you're going to be getting from now on, or the current version of me, and that is basically being respectful to your sub base. Unlike how G4 TV did it with theirs, considering that they pretty much proved that that they do not understand the modern world and decide to act really, really mean and throw shade at pretty much all their current all the current people that actually grew up with them when it came to playing video games. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna just stop it there. But yeah, feel free to voice your opinions about everything I just said in the comment section down below. But yeah, if you really want my recommendation, just go get yourself a Steam Deck, okay? Or if you have, or if you don't have one and you're still waiting for, it to come to the market, for actual, so that way like everybody can get their hands on one. You're probably gonna have to wait a few more years, honestly. But I just say, pre-order one now. Just go to the Steam website, or if you don't have Steam on your computer, just go online and just type up steampower.com, and then you'll see the image for the Steam Deck, and then you just start placing your order. And because really right now, like, Valve has really like ramped up production for the Steam Deck, so I would say right now is probably the best time for you to start placing orders down for a Steam Deck, and then that way you'll have roughly about 72 hours to get yours, so roughly about like 3 days before your order is moved somewhere else. But also, if you want to go and check out some awesome some other similar ones to the Steam Deck, like I think it's called like the 1X Power or something, or I'll have to look through Google. But yeah, you guys can definitely voice down in the comment section down below if you guys like want some links or some other ones that are different from the Steam Deck. I mean, there is one I think that you can actually pre-order. I forget what it's called now, but it can basically handle a lot of like really like retro games, and it only goes for like $100. So there's that. But anyways, I'll leave it here. If you guys enjoyed everything, again, as I said, if you enjoyed everything that you heard in this video, definitely feel free to voice in the comment section down below about your opinions and everything. Definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon with all notifications turned on, so that way you can stay updated with all my content. I'm going to get back in the habit of uploading more content after a couple months of really not uploading much of anything. And I'm sorry if that's been happening. There's been a lot of stuff on my mind between school, work, and everything else in between. Alright? So with that, I like to end things off here. You can also join my Discord if you like to. Honestly, I feel like at this point I might probably just destroy it. Honestly, and I don't know. I might just stick with just using Facebook just for sharing content. For the most part. But other than that, I'll leave it there. This is AnimeCore85, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.